Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your sixth poetry type. This is also your final poetry type. So really enjoy this one because this is pretty close to the end of poetry for us. The final type of poetry that we're doing is, I think, the type of poetry that you've kind of been expecting the whole time, which is a rhyming poem. We're working our way into rhyme scheme and what that's all about. So, rhyme scheme is really important in poetry, and rhyme scheme means the pattern of rhyming words in a poem. And at the level that we're at right now, it's talking about the rhyming words at the end of each line of poetry, okay? Sometimes rhyming lines also have the same syllable count. And this is a tough challenge. But if you do your poems and you're ready for a different kind of challenge, give it a shot making them all the same syllable count. Tough. I would be so impressed. Okay, so there's a few different kinds of rhyme schemes. And the way that rhyme schemes are shown in poetry, or the way that they're sort of talked about in poetry, is that we use a letter at the end of the line to show which lines are rhyming with which lines, okay? So in this tiny little example here, these two lines that have an A at the end will have the same rhyme sound, and then the two lines that have a B at the end will also have the same rhyme sound. So, how nice to think about a summer's day, when the sun shines bright and the trees all sway. A gentle breeze goes whistling by, and flowers wave their leaves to say hi. Okay, we can hear in there the rhyme scheme, and then we see it by these letters here. Now, there's a whole bunch of different kinds of rhyme schemes, and this is super cool. So, this is our page of sort of guide. This is our guide to rhyme schemes. So an alternate rhyme scheme would have this, A-B-A-B rhyming. So the first line would rhyme with the third line, and the second line would rhyme with the fourth line. We're going to go through and look at a little example of each of these. So we won't spend too much time on this slide, but you can always come back to it. So here's an example of an alternate rhyme scheme, okay, which would be A-B-A-B. Homework is the very best. I love to do it all the time. Until it's done, I do not rest. When it's over, my heart does chime. If homework ever stopped arriving and there was simply none to do, my brain and muscles would stop thriving and turn into a pile of goo. Okay, there's a nice little ditty about homework for you. And again, you can see A, B, A, B, and that correlates with the final word in each line. Okie dokie. Here's our next example. So this is a monorhyme example, which means every single line has the same rhyming sound in it. It's also about homework. I really went to town on the homework theme for you guys. Homework, homework, how I love you. You're just my favorite thing to do. When you are gone, I sit and brew on exactly what else to put my mind through. My love for you is pure and true. You are my captain, ship, and crew. So, I hope you like that one. You can see every single line has the same rhyming sound. You, to, brew, through, true, crew, all the same sound. This is a monorhyme example of a rhyme scheme. Okay, our next one is an example of a rhyming couplet. And this was what our lesson was going to be about, only rhyming couplets. But then I thought, if we're only going to bust into rhyming one time, then you should get all of the different examples of rhyme schemes. So this is our couplet example. And that means that the first two lines rhyme, and the next two lines rhyme, and the next two. So, homework. You've always been my one true love. On dark gray days, you're a pure white dove. You bring me hope, you bring me joy. When I see you, I say, oh boy. Race home to get right back to work. Yeah, right. I'd rather stick my eye with a fork. This is a poem for those of you who do not cherish homework in quite the same way. And I realize as I'm reading this, there's a couple of spelling errors. There's a couple typos in there. Don't you worry about it. Okay, here's our next one. So this one is called enclosed rhyme. And it means, as you can see here, the first line and the fourth line rhyme, and then the second and third lines in the middle there rhyme. Okay? So, homework. Are you seeing a bit of a theme? Homework. What to say about thee? You're smelly and vile and awful at best. When I get home, I'd just like to rest, but you're always there when you needn't be. I used to like you. You were okay. I'd go off to school and return with a bit, but now into my life you just barely fit since the dawn of e-learning, that fateful day. Wrote that one for you guys. This is an e-learning original. Okay, so this is your task. You're going to write 2 different poems with 2 different rhyme schemes, okay? Your poems must be at least 8 lines long. Your poems have to have a topic that carries through all lines. Perhaps you would like to pick up on the homework thread. If not, your poem can be about anything you like. But your poem must make sense. And you have to identify the name of the rhyme scheme that you've chosen for each poem. So that would be one of these. Let's just scoot up to that page for a second. That would be one of these. Alternate rhyme, mono rhyme, couplet, enclosed rhyme. You need to actually say in your poem which one of those you're using. And then you must identify the rhyme scheme by marking each line with a number, just the same way I've done in all my examples, okay? So again, some examples of topics are spring, video games, friends, swimming, family, quarantine, whatever you like. Write your poems about whatever you like, but you must have 2. They must have 2 different rhyme schemes. Now, if you get finished a little early and, whoopsie, and you're looking for a bit of an extension activity, here are some ways to really, really make this tough. But it's not just tough. It's like a fun challenge for you. So the first one is to count syllables. In so many of the famous poems and in so many of the great poets, each line of poetry would have the same number of syllables, even in like a rhyming couplet. So if you want to really up your game and try something super tough, but maybe have success and feel really proud, try doing a rhyming poem with every single line the same number of syllables. It is such a fun challenge, you guys. And you'll realize you have to like rearrange things. You have to choose a different word so the syllable count fits. It's a really fun challenge. Next, if you would like to try a tough one, go check out the Terza Rima rhyme scheme, which is the one that I didn't do an example of, and give that one a shot because it's a real challenge. But once you manage to do it, you realize it sounds really cool. And the third extension activity is to go find a famous poem that uses one of the rhyme schemes presented, okay? So those are your extension activities, and this is your plan for the day. I will see you at our poetry sharing circle at 1. I'm so excited to hear your guys' poems. Rhyming poems are really, really a good time. So good luck, enjoy, and I'll see you soon.